Hello, North Carolina. Oh, what's up, Tar Heels? Now, first of all, I want to thank Dominique for that unbelievable introduction. Wasn't she good? You can tell she will be an outstanding teacher. And I love you back. I do. Love North Carolina. I love North Carolina. I do. Every time I come down to this state, I just love it that much more. You know, I said a while back, the thing about North Carolina is even the folks who don't vote for me are nice to me. You know, I can't say that about every place. Now, I want to issue a quick spoiler alert. Later today, I am getting together with Jimmy Fallon and the Dave Matthews Band right here on campus. We're going to tape Jimmy's show for tonight, so I want everybody to tune in. Make sure it has high ratings. It's a Dave Matthews fan right here. We've got some wonderful people who are here who are doing a great job for you guys. First of all, your governor, Bev Perdue, is in the house. Give her a big round of applause. Where's Bev? There she is. You've got your Congressman, Dave Price, Congressman David Price, Congressman G.K. Butterfield, Congressman Brad Miller, your Mayor Mark Kleinschmidt, Chancellor of UNC Holden Thorpe, It is great to be back on the Lady Tar Heels home court. This is an arena with some serious hoops history. I know the men's team used to play here back in the day. I just want to remind you right off the bat, I picked UNC to win it all in March Madness. Point out. And if Kendall hadn't gotten hurt, you know, who knows where we might have been. I saw McAdoo, by the way, at the airport. He came by and said hello, which I was excited. So I just want you to know I have faith in you guys. Now, it's always good to begin with some easy applause lines. Talk about the Tar Heels. But the reason I came to Chapel Hill today is to talk about what most of you do here every single day, and that's study, I assume. Higher education is the single most important investment you can make in your future. So I'm proud of all of you for doing what it takes to make that investment. For the long hours in the library, I hope. In the lab, in the classroom. This has never been more important. You know, whether you're here at a 4-year college or university or you're at a 2-year community college, in today's economy, there's no greater predictor of individual success than a good education. Right now, the unemployment rate for Americans with a college degree or more is about half the national average. The incomes of folks with a college degree are twice as high as those who don't have a high school diploma. A higher education is the clearest path into the middle class. Now, Now, I know that those of you who are about to graduate are wondering about what's in store for your future. Not even 4 years ago, just as the global economy was about to enter into free fall, you were still trying to find your way around campus. And you've spent your years here at a time when the whole world has been trying to recover, but is not yet fully recovered from the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The worst economic crisis in most of our lifetimes, and that includes your teachers. Our businesses have added more than 4 million jobs over the past 2 years, but we all know there's still too many Americans out there looking for work or trying to find a job that pays enough to cover the bills and make the mortgage. And we still have too many folks in the middle class that are searching for that security that started slipping away years before the recession hit. So we've still got a lot of work to do to rebuild this economy so that it lasts, so that it's solid, so that it's firm. But what I want you to know is that the degree you earn from UNC will be the best tool you have to achieve that basic American promise. The idea that if you work hard, you can do well enough to raise a family and own a home, send your own kids to college, put a little away for retirement. That American dream is within your reach. And there's another part of this dream, which is the idea that each generation is going to know a little bit more opportunity than the last generation. That our kids, I can tell you now as a parent, and I guarantee you, your parents feel this about you, nothing's more important than your kids' success. You want them to do better than you did. You want them to shoot higher, strive more, and succeed beyond your imagination. So keeping that promise alive is the defining issue of our time. I don't want this to be a country where a shrinking number of Americans are doing really, really well, but a growing number of people are just struggling to get by. That's not my idea of America. I don't want that future for you. I don't want that future for my daughters. I want this forever to be a country where everybody gets a fair shot and everybody's doing their fair share and everybody's playing by the same set of rules. That's the America I know and love. That's the America within our reach. Yeah, I think back to my grandfather. He had a chance to go to college because this country decided every returning veteran of World War II should be able to afford it, should be able to go to college. My mother was able to raise 2 kids by herself because she was able to get grants and work her way through school. I am only standing here today. Michelle is only who she is today because of scholarships and student loans. That gave us a shot at a great education. We didn't come from families of means. But we knew that if we worked hard, we'd have a shot. This country has always made a commitment to put a good education within the reach of all who are willing to work for it. That's what makes us special. That's what made us an economic superpower. That's what kept us at the forefront of business and science and technology and medicine. And that's a commitment we have to reaffirm today in 2012. Now everybody will give lip service to this. You'll hear a lot of folks say, yeah, education's important, it's important. But it requires not just words, but deeds. And the fact is that since most of you were born, tuition and fees at America's colleges have more than doubled. And that forces students like you to take out a lot more loans. There are fewer grants. You rack up more debt. Can I get an amen? Now, the average student who borrows to pay for college now graduates with about $25,000 in student loan debt. That's the average. Some are more. Can I get an amen for that? Yeah, I know, because some folks have more debt than that. Americans now owe more on their student loans than they do on their credit cards. And living with that kind of debt means that this generation's not getting off to the same start that previous generations, because you're already loaded up with debt. So that means you've got to make pretty tough choices when you are first starting out. You might have to put off buying a house. It might mean that you can't, go after that great idea for a startup that you have because you're still paying off loans. Maybe you've got to wait longer to start a family or save for retirement. When a big chunk of every paycheck goes towards loan debt, that's not just tough on you, that's not just tough for middle-class families, it's not just tough on your parents, it's painful for the economy. Because that money is not going to help businesses grow. I mean, think about the sooner you can start buying a house, that's good for the housing industry. The sooner you can start up that business, that means you're hiring some folks, that grows the economy. And this is something Michelle and I know about firsthand. I just want everybody here to understand, this is not, I didn't just read about this. I didn't just... I didn't just get some talking points about this. I didn't just get a policy briefing on this. Michelle and I, we've been in your shoes. Like I said, we didn't come from wealthy families. So when we graduated from college and law school, we had a mountain of debt. When we married, we got poor together. We added up our assets, and there were no assets. And we added up our liabilities, and there were a lot of liabilities, basically in the form of student loans. We paid more in student loans than we paid on our mortgage when we finally did buy a condo. For the first 8 years of our marriage, we were paying more in student loans than what we were paying for our mortgage. So we know what this is about. And we were lucky to land good jobs with a steady income. But we only finished paying off our student loans. Check this out, all right? I'm the President of the United States. We only finished paying off our student loans about 8 years ago. That wasn't that long ago. And that wasn't easy, especially because when we had Malia and Sasha, we're supposed to be saving up for their college educations, and we're still paying off our college education. So we have to make college more affordable for our young people. That's the bottom line. And like I said, look, not everybody's going to go to a four-year college or university. You may go to a community college, you may go to a technical school and get into the workforce, and then it may turn out that after you've had kids and you're 35, you go back to school because you're retraining for something new. But no matter what it is, no matter what field you're in, you're going to have to engage in lifelong learning. That's the nature of the economy today, and we've got to make sure that's affordable. That's good for the country, it's good for you. At this make or break moment for the middle class, we've got to make sure that you're not saddled with debt before you even get started. in life. Because I believe college isn't just one of the best investments you can make in your future, it's one of the best investments America can make in our future. This is important for all of us. We can't price the middle class out of a college education, not at a time when most new jobs in America will require more than a high school diploma. Whether it's at a four-year college or a two-year program, we can't make higher education a luxury. It's an economic imperative. Every American family should be able to afford it. So that's why I'm here. Now, before I ask for your help, I've got something very specific I'm going to need you to do. But North Carolina indulged me. I want to briefly tell you what we've already done to help make college more affordable, because we've done a lot. Before I took office, we had a student loan system where tens of billions of taxpayer dollars were going to banks, not students. They were processing student loan programs, except the student loans were federally guaranteed, so they weren't taking any big risks, but they were still taking billions of dollars out of the system. So we changed it. Some in Washington fought tooth and nail to protect the status quo, where billions of dollars were going to banks instead of students. And they wanted to protect that. They wanted to keep those dollars flowing to the banks. One of them said, and I'm going to quote here because it gives you a sense of the attitude sometimes we're dealing with in Washington. They said, "It would be an outrage if we changed the system so that the money wasn't going through banks and they weren't making billions of dollars of profits off of it." Said it was an outrage. And I said, no, the real outrage is letting these banks keep these subsidies without taking any risks while students are working 2 or 3 jobs just to get by. That's an outrage. That's an outrage.